Hey friend, are you asking yourself, is this what I really want to be doing with my life? I don't think so. I think there's something else that I'm meant to be doing. Welcome to the Painting Your Path podcast, where we have real conversations about what it takes to step out, be bold, and do you. I'm your host, Clarissa Castillo-Ramsey. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Painting Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Clarissa Castillo-Ramsey. And before we dive into this week's conversation, I wanted to share a few upcoming events. My Art of Becoming 6-week group program starts next week. It's for you if you want to connect back to your creative side, or if you've had a creative project circling your mind and you haven't brought it to life yet, but you know it's time to get it out there. One of my past participants, Barbara, said, I've been bringing what I've learned into my daily life. I've noticed I'm able to carry those things into my practices with my students and colleagues, and I find myself focusing on my breath a little more. There were also a lot of belly laughs, making the experience both meaningful and enjoyable. To anyone considering it, try it, you'll like it. And the details for this program are in the show notes. The second event I have coming up, in the spirit of this season's theme, focusing on fire survivors and the groups supporting our communities, I'm co-leading a community resiliency training with my friend and fellow wellness advocate, Kelly Etter. It's a 90-minute free training to help you navigate challenging times and build your resiliency. Details to join are in the show notes, and we have about 6 seats left for this free training. Okay, today we're joined by the inspiring Ellen Stern Kutza, certified biofeedback specialist, artist, dedicated community builder, and one of my dearest and longtime friends. Ellen's story is not only about creativity and healing, but about resilience in the face of unimaginable changes. Together, we dive into how the Eaton and Palisades fire shaped her community, inspired her art, and fueled her passion to give back. If you want to know how you can turn challenges into creative ways to build community connection, and what it means to truly heal and inspire others, tune into this conversation with Ellen. Welcome to the show, Ellen Stern Kutza. It's so good to have you back.
Thank you. Thanks, Clarissa. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year. So welcome to 2026.
Yes, let's see what this year brings. But before we get started, how about if you just share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay. Well, my name is Ellen Stern Kutza, and I am a certified biofeedback specialist for the last 20 plus years. And so what that is I help retrain people's brains with frequencies in a non-invasive way for stress reduction, relaxation, brainwave retraining, and pain management. And I love what I do. I am also a local artist. I've been an artist since I was a kid, like 10 years old. And so I love creating. I'm a creator.
Yes, you are. And I can attest to Ellen's biofeedback process and her skills and her support. In fact, I am going to go in for a session on Friday. So I just wanted to share that too. It has been truly helpful, transformational for me. And this is Ellen's second time coming back to the podcast, so I will link her first interview in the show notes. And I have to say, your episode, Ellen, is a top 5 in
Woo!
my podcast. So I just had to share that with
Oh,
you
that's
too.
so, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you, Clarissa, and all the amazing stuff that you do, because you are also truly a leader and of service. So
Oh,
I just
thanks.
welcome the work that you do, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this season of the podcast is a little different, and I'm caught talking to people who have been impacted by the Eaton and Palisades fire, the organizations that are supporting our communities. And Ellen, would love to hear, how are you connected to the Eaton fire?
Okay, well, where we live, I'm in the top part of Arcadia, and our uh, home, we were the easternmost flank of the fire. So fortunately, our home did survive. But because I'm in the canyon, when I left, I didn't think I was coming back to a home. So I took as much stuff as I could throw in my car I was evacuating around 10 p.m. And I just hear from many of my friends in Altadena, like they really thought they were coming back to a home. They just thought they were going to be gone overnight. And so they didn't really take very much. So uh, that's a big impact. And, you know, I guess it's called survivor's guilt. And that is also a very real thing. But after talking to one of the friends who lost their home, she said, we're happy that your guys' home survived. Like, we don't want you to feel bad that your home made it. And that helped me shift a little bit of my perception. And so right now, or actually this whole last year, has just been about giving back to the community, whether it was our art community, our Alta Arts Collective, where 32 of our members lost their homes. So we made sure that, we helped them get supplies and in anything, whatever they need, like mental health. And I helped my friend Joan Kaplan, who grows the sprouts at Farmers Market. She lost a few properties and she's not on social media. So I went on social media in a lot of the Altadena groups and did screenshots and said, hey, go here at this time. You can get some free tennis shoes, or, so I definitely just had my beat on the pulse to spread information to people who weren't necessarily watching everything.
Uh, and I know you did something special over the holidays for our survivors. Could you share more about
Yeah,
that?
I I had two back-to-back art shows on Thanksgiving weekend. So I did Small Business Saturday in Sierra Madre, and then I did the show at Renata O'Neill's beautiful estate. You could say backyard, but it's not really a backyard. It's 3.8 acres.
Yeah.
The holiday show, and it was for Altadena and Altadena artists. So being that I was still a fire survivor and had to evacuate for a long time, I was part of the show. So anyways, what I did was, it's really interesting because I just started off going to our favorite craft store, Michael's, and they had some holiday ornaments on sale, the clear ones that you can make. And so I bought 50 and I hand painted them all. And I just thought, well, I'll just give them away for free at the two shows. Well, at the second show, they were all gone within like an hour and a half. So I just started making more. and more and more. And I gave them away at the Christmas tree lane lighting. And I've made 800 so far. And these are all hand painted. And I've given them all away for free to people who lost their homes. Being a stress reduction specialist, I knew that the holidays were going to be another wave of sadness for people, and that it was going to be hard when you're just realizing that your favorite holiday stuff isn't there. Your ornaments, your lifelong collections, your grandmas, everything that people really cherish about the holidays. So I just wanted to do my part and bring a little cheer to my community. And it really just took on a life of its own, going from 50.
Yes.
Luckily, Michael's has great sales. And I was able to get more ornaments. And one of my friends saw what I was doing and she Venmoed me some money. So I just went and bought more supplies and more supplies. And it was very personal. Just I gave most of them away to strangers, and or someone who said, "Hey, I didn't lose my home, but I have 3 friends." So I said, "Okay, just give them. Here's 3. Take as many as you need." So I had little helpers in the community, passing them along to churches and organizations where their friends lost something. So it was just really cool way to use my own art and give back. And then
Yes.
cool thing is that I ended up meeting the reporters from KTLA at Christmas tree lighting, and they found out what I was doing, and they came to our home and they did a story on me. So if you go to YouTube and you write search KTLA local artist holiday ornaments, my clip will come up. So I'm really proud of that. I guess 2 minutes is a lot on a news story.
Yeah, that's
film
great.
business, that's like a full length film. So when you give back, the world just takes care of you. It wasn't like, oh, I'm doing this so I could get airtime. I was just doing it because I love our community and making something special. um it's just one way of
Totally. Yeah.
stuff.
And art is so healing. So I think making the art, receiving art in and of itself is super special.
Yeah, it was interesting because at Renata's show there was a couple that came from the Palisades, and they said, "Hey, do you have any that say Palisades?" Because my ornaments, I painted, they're all pretty much the same. There's 3 versions. So I painted a heart and I drew little mountain outline on the ones that first, some of the hearts didn't have mountain outlines, and then that became very popular. So those all got in there. And then they either say Altadena Strong, Altadena Rising, or Altadena Forever. And so the Palisades people, the couple said, "Hey, do you have any that say Palisades?" And I was like, "Ooh, I didn't even think about making those." And so, like every good artist, I just happened to have a marker right handy, and then in
Right.
the heart I wrote Palisades Strong. So their ornament says Altadena Forever and Palisades Strong. So they even got a
I
special.
love that.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And I'm just curious. So we've gone through a lot, but what have you noticed about this community that gives you hope?
Well, I think, in the any kind of tragedy brings people together. We finally get to see the best of humans instead of the worst of humans. But actually in this one, we did get to see the worst when people were looting, and that was just like breaking my heart that, like, on top of tragedy, bad humans come out, but on top of tragedy, good humans come out. So I think
Yeah.
there's so many people that are just doing whatever they can. And I was able to meet, after I gave the ornaments away, I went to Ornaments for Altadena and I just gave them away at their event. So I'm not part of their thing. And I said, "Hey, you still have a lot of ornaments left over. Where are they going to go?" And so she said, "Oh, they're going to Frontline Relief." And then one girl overheard and she goes, "Oh, I'm a volunteer there." So she put me in touch with Jose, and I went. He's at the corner of Glen Rose and Woodbury, and he is an amazing soul. So he's really serving the Hispanic community. So I went down there 3 days in a row and handed out the ornaments also. And
Awesome.
that's like his community is kind of, he said it's forgotten a little bit. So now he was able to start a nonprofit, and he was just going to go for 1 week after the fire, or 2 weeks. His house was saved, but his street burned and his garage burned with all of his business. So he just started like, hey, this is a drop off donation place. And it's been going now for a year. So that also has taken a life of its own, serving the community down there. So he's called Frontline Relief USA, and he is at the corner of Woodbury and Glen Rose.
Nice. And what other organizations and groups have you connected with that you'd like to share with us?
Well, of course, the Eaton Fire Collective, and that is also on Woodbury. I think you know the address to that one.
Yeah, the Eaton Fire Collaboratory is at 540 West Woodbury.
540 West Woodbury.
Yep.
So I have a painting hanging up there, and I also our own art group, Alta Arts Collective. So we had our first. We used to do open studios tours, but being that that's not going to be happening for a long time, we did our first group show in October, and that was at off
the
of
Eagles.
What's that place called? The
Eagles.
The Eagles Lodge. Sorry,
yep.
The Eagles Lodge, and that was, art is so healing for the community. So just our own group, just giving back, and I think that might be it. But
Right.
Also. They asked for people reach out to our group and they're saying, hey, can you help us? So I ended up right after Christmas painting these doors that went to, I think, 4 locations. It went to Fair Oaks Burger, Grocery Outlet, your Eaton Collaborative, and the library. And so we just painted the doors solid colors, and then they put frames around them, and people got to sign them on the 1 year anniversary.
That was really cool. And I think you worked with musicians too.
Oh yeah, how could they?
Right?
Reminding me, I'm like, wait, there's someone else. Altadena musicians, Brandon J. So I just love him. What happened with that was, being that I was in all the groups looking for information for Joan, I saw he did a post and he said, hey, we're doing a song, Burning Down the House, for all the musicians who lost their homes. And he said, can anyone make any posters? And I said, oh yeah, I can make some posters. And I'm like, text me. And so I ended up making 13 signs for him. And I was like, when do you need them? And he's like, oh, 6 o'clock. And it was noon. So I whipped up 13 posters and I brought him down to their recording studio. And then he said, hey, do you want to stay and sing in the chorus? So I sang in the video, and we could put a link to that. But what Brandon J. Altadena Musicians is, there's so many musicians and artists, and so for the musicians who lost their home, he started a website. And if you lost your home, you say, okay, I'm a musician and I need a bass guitar, and say, I'm a musician and I have a bass guitar, then I donate whatever instruments or music, sheet music, amps. So he puts together people what they're looking for, and then the people who want to donate. And so
that's cool.
Brandon J.
Yeah,
He is really amazing. They had Mr. Holland's Opus came with a truckload of instruments. So the musicians, and they're getting their instruments back in their hands.
Yeah,
or new
instruments. Fantastic. Yeah, I remember seeing those posts in all the Altadena Facebook groups. So yeah, that's so cool that you were part of that. And I'm curious for you, Ellen, how has the season of change, what has that clarified for you?
Well, I think being that my house didn't burn, even though we were so close, the fire burned on my street, right across my street, all my canyon. Um, I sit in my studio and I just look around and I'm just grateful. I really
Yeah.
appreciate everything.
Yeah. And just what I know about you for how many years have we been friends?
And
Like,
we've been friends since 1997.
yeah, a
We met
long
when we were one.
time. I know. And you always have a giving heart. You just do so much for the community. So thank you for everything you've done. And as we look ahead at the time of this recording, it's a brand new year. What are you looking forward to the most?
Let's see. I'm looking forward to just keep being of service, keep helping my biofeedback clients and my community, and creating art. And I think everyone just coming together. We are in an interesting time energetically on the planet and our country and our community. So it just starts local and goes big. So we all have to have each other's back and
Yes,
to stand up for what's right and for justice, and that we're all citizens of the planet.
love it. And for someone who is navigating uncertainty or still feeling maybe a little bit hopeless, concerned, what is something you could share with them to help lift them up?
Yeah, well, I think that doing personal therapy and grief counseling is really important, because then you just you're sharing, and that there's help available and there's resources available, but you have to ask. So you have to join your community groups, go to the collectives, be a part of everything. So I was at the 1 year anniversary at Grocery Outlet, and listening to our local leaders speak just makes people feel helpful, that people have their back in government.
Totally. And to plug the Eaton Fire Collaborative one more time, I'm part of the wellness community,
Yeah.
and they have therapists available. So I'll be sure to link that website in our show notes. Help is there, and you can get several sessions at no cost. So I echo what you have to say, Ellen. And okay, if it's okay with you, we're going to transition into what I call rapid Q&A so
Okay.
that people can get to know you better. Okay, here we go. It's January. Curious if you have a word of the year
Ooh,
or thinking about it.
thinking of the word of the year, hope.
Hope. I love it. How about a current obsession? It could be anything.
I think right now, creating new art, because I've made so many ornaments and I've just been only making ornaments. So I'm ready to get back to my own obsession of painting.
Love it. How about
And I did make a really fun vision board with Clarissa.
oh yeah.
So so we did that January 4th, and that was really helpful. So she said, put the vision board where you can see it. So I am looking at it every day. And I'm also getting ready to I make greeting cards. So our next big holiday is Valentine's Day. So more hearts will be on the way, but
I love that.
cards.
That's so great. How about what's something maybe most people don't know about you that you're comfortable sharing?
Ooh, what most people don't know. I think I think everyone knows, I'm just loving kind. I love cats. I could be crazy cat lady, but I only have two cats. Um,
They're adorable too.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good, you know what? I think a lot of people don't know that this is my second marriage. Like when I tell people that I was married before, they're like, "What? You were?" So because I love my husband Brian Christopher Kutza, who's also an amazing artist, and he is a design builder. So he is being of service to the community, working with architects, Cole Butler, Butler Blaine Solutions. So they are working with building responsibly houses.
Yes. And I need to have them on the podcast too.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for their story as well. And where's the best place for people to connect with you?
I would say Instagram, Ellen Stern Kutza Artist.
Perfect. So go connect with Ellen and see what she's up to.
Yeah.
And the last question, Ellen, that I asked you last time, and I'll ask you again. The name of this podcast is Painting Your Path. What does painting your path mean to you?
I think it's just about being a conscious creator, that we can create and do anything that we want. So when we're all a frequency and a vibration. So painting your path is you are in the destiny of your own path. So what do you want, and just put it forward so the universe can find an energetic match for where you're vibing at. That's agape style. So
yes, that is. Love it.
Member of Agape International Spiritual Center with Reverend Michael Beckwith. So that's also a wonderful place for transformation and for healing and just saying yes to yourself, first of all, and most important.
Love it. Thank you for your time today, Ellen. It was great to have you back on the show.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
And for everyone tuning in, as I always like to say, what's your biggest takeaway? Tell us on social media. And until next time, keep painting your path.
And keep smiling.
And keep smiling. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much for staying till the very end. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. If you haven't had a chance yet, please write a review and rate the show. I would love to hear your feedback. And I also have a free resource guide for anybody who is asking themselves, am I on the right path for myself now? Or is there something else that I really want to do? Maybe you're in that quandary. Maybe you're wondering what's next. So head over to the show notes and you'll see my Painting Your Path framework guide. Download it and have some fun. Just start exploring. And thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.